Good evening, everyone, and welcome to race number 11 of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. I'm Hannah Newhouse, joined as always by Rusty Wallace. And Rusty, we're getting down to it. We're going racing tonight at Road America. These drivers only have two, maybe three real shots left here at locking into this championship race, and we're going to send them loose tonight on the road course of Road America. How excited are you, seeing how as the last couple weeks have played out?
You know, I'm excited, but the intensity, the competition, and pressure is at an all-time high. Last week at Auto Club, it gave us all of that and then some. And this week, we're heading to our third and potentially final road course of the season. If you look back to the previous two races, Watkins Glen and Mid-Ohio, those races came down to the final corner of the last lap, beating and bagging, some dramas, tempers flaring, and I think we're going to get more of that here tonight at Road America. This is going to be a special one.
Well, we started the third segment off going dirt racing at Eldora. We sent him to California last week at Auto Club, and now we're here at Road America. And you said it, Rusty, the excitement level is going to be at an all-time high here because the road courses are always good here on the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. And take a look here at how things will roll off this evening. Those Xbox drivers will be up first with their race, followed by the PlayStation. So about 8:08, that pace lap will roll off for your Xbox drivers. And not long after that, the green flag will fly for the PlayStation drivers. Both of these consoles here are looking to have a good race. But before we look forward here and talk the details of Road America, Rusty, we need to talk about some things that happened last week at Auto Club as some penalties were assessed and handed out to a few of our drivers. Again, all of our races are policed by a group that will make these calls. So those penalties being Matthew Selby from Stewart-Haas Esports, a hefty penalty for him. 3 separate penalties was given, 10 points for causing a caution, intentionally 5 points for avoiding contact leading to a caution, another 5 points for avoidable contact that was multiple drivers. So 20 points in total, driver points of Matthew Selby. Nick Jobs with Hendrick Motorsports Gaming Club also was assessed a penalty, 5 points for driver standings for rough driving throughout the event. And Rusty, you know these guys. You called it last race. You mentioned, Selby in causing somewhat of a caution. Nick Jobs, you know him. These drivers have been definitely voicing their opinion as of lately, as again, the tempers are starting to flare.
Yeah, with the competition, the pressure on, sometimes the driving kind of crosses the line a little bit when Rubbin's racing turns into straight up wrecking. And we saw that last week with Matthew Selby. The voice of Stewart-Haas Esports is not going to like this, but that was dirty racing out of Matthew Selby. So we penalized it. We took a look. We looked at the race footage, and it was conclusive. There was some avoidable contact, and it was just straight up rough driving. So we got the penalties on him, as you see. Nick Jobs, a race winner on the season. Some of the guys didn't like how he was racing, kind of crossed the line on the racing etiquette side of things late in that race. So Nick Jobs got a 5-point penalty there, but those guys, they like to race how they're being raced, and it just they kind of crossed the border and crossed the line last week at Auto Club.
Yeah, and both of those drivers are going to have to make up that point deficit now, even more so going into today's race at Road America. But while our drivers all take this very seriously, we also like to have fun here in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. And we tried to sit down with Kyle Arnold last week for a sneak peek into his daily life. And let's just say some drivers are a little bit harder to interview than others. Take a look here.
A short time later, I found out I was having my first kid, so I packed it up and came back to Georgia, and that's when the dad role started. And now we're up to 3. Also changed over at Charlotte during All-Star Weekend. As you can see my little one's head, Chucky's head right here. It wasn't one of those things I went out and wanted to roll. It was, I don't know if you can hear the kids in the background. Wait a second. Go clean it up, buddy. Go clean it up. It'll just take a few more minutes. All right, I think we need to start that one over, Jay. You're a magician. Disappear, please. Both of y'all walking around eating cookies, man. It's ridiculous. I met a guy. His name was Walt. He was a Hey, let me get him real quick. I'll be right back.
absolutely love seeing that. That is so funny. And I love that, again, the NASCAR Heat Pro League is a family sport. A lot of these guys have regular 9-to-5s. They're raising kids. My child, Janet, the dog, may end up in here at some point, but we all make it happen at the end of the day. And we just love to see everything about the Pro League here because there's so many different backgrounds in racing here, Rusty.
Yeah, I could definitely relate to Kyle Arnold's story. I got a little baby Wallace of my own out in the living room running around. I can hear him screaming, watching the races, tuning in. But yeah, Kyle Arnold, you can relate to him. All these drivers from the racing, on the track to off the track. There's a driver, I feel, for everyone out there in the Pro League. So we'll be talking about those guys more here tonight. And but yeah, thank you for Kyle Arnold for getting us a little behind the scenes peek there.
Yeah, you got to love it. And again, last week we were out in California at Auto Club. And if you missed that Xbox race, take a look here at what happened last time out. Race 10 here of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League for your Xbox drivers. Green flag is in the air. We are underway for the Xbox race at Auto Club.
And this is probably the best racetrack in the game. Literally anybody can win at any time you go to this racetrack, and I think we're setting ourselves up for one of the best races of this season. I can't wait. Matthew Selby, one of those aggressive drivers. He's taking a peek to the inside. He doesn't care about it. 3 wide on the exit of turn 4 as we're coming down the front stretch. This is great. Holy cow, look at this. Brooks and Buttafuoco. I feel like we say it every week, side by side for the lead at Auto Club. This is really as good as it gets. This is fantastic racing. I'm loving every second of this right now, Hannah.
Saw a driver high. Oop, there it is. Into the wall, Nick Walker, that Roush Fenway Gaming car, and the caution will come out.
Oh, and we're going 4 wide down the backstretch. Are you kidding me? Holy cow, Hannah. This is as good as it gets. We're 4 wide at Auto Club.
Ooh, big wreck. Tedeschi involved, Selby involved, Brooks as well. Final lap. Buttafuoco, though, still under fire from Graven. We are 4 wide here at the moment.
Slade, you go do what you got to do. I want to win, and I don't want that little to win either. Let's go.
Oh, they all wrecked behind him. Daniel Buttafuoco, though, will collect that win. Complete chaos, but a great finish here for these guys.
How about that? Win number 3 in the eNASCAR Pro League. We had a really strong car and we knew how to run the track, so that helped us out a lot. We won an oval. How about that? That's awesome.
And you saw the excitement of Buttafuoco collecting yet another win. And you can see all of our drivers, again, staged here, getting ready to roll for the Xbox race. And Rusty, we love having this access of the drivers at home or wherever they are racing from this evening, because you heard it there on our last time out. These guys get involved. They get anxious. They get mad at each other, as they should.
Yeah, you love to see the emotion and the passion out of these drivers. Sometimes these guys, when they're cool, calm and collected, a little bump will kind of set them off and you'll see that passion, excitement. But I did like on that little that sneak peek, we saw Jay Pinnell, the GM. He was focused and locked in this. He's ready to keep an eye on this competition here tonight and kind of keep it clean and safe and competitive out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it is race number 11 here. We want to welcome our friends north of the border up in Canada, Rev TV. Welcome to the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. We're glad to have you with us. Also, again, Mav TV as well. Each and every Sunday evening, you can catch your eNASCAR Heat Pro League dose of racing action, and we love to have them as well. Take a look here, though, of how this race is going to go down for your Xbox drivers here at Road America this evening. That fuel window, we'll definitely get into it because road course racing, it's going to play into it. But it's 13 laps in total length, 3 times those tire wear, full damage, and it's a 4-mile racetrack, a little over. So definitely the longest racetrack that we go to. But Rusty, that window of fuel is only about 6, maybe 7 laps. These guys are going to have to come down and pit. Will, do you think we'll see any strategy?
I think we're going to see a wide variety of strategy here today. Expect the guys on pit road at least twice. Maybe somebody's got a little trick up their sleeve. They can pit once, but expect them twice on pit road today.
And we'll definitely talk about that a little bit later. But your starting grid here for the Xbox race. Up front, Daniel Buttafuoco, of course, up front, your road course ace. Lewis Zader on the outside of him. And in row 2, Nick Walker and Justin Brooks, Rusty.
We're going to take a look at row 3 here. This is a huge points day opportunity for Slade Gravitt. He needs to get the points. Diego Alvarado's been fast. Tyler Dohar is second in the points standing. I expect a strong day out of him as well.
And we'll round out the rest of your field here. Row 5 is Riley Ogle with Jordan McGraw. Matthew Heel in row 6 with Sam Morris. And rounding out that final row of row 7, Jose Ruiz and Brian Tedeschi will have to make their way to the front. Your front row here coming to the green flag. So green flag is in the air at Road America. Your Xbox race underway. Instantly contact going into the corner, but Afuko though holds on to it. A couple drivers getting a little loose in the back. Tedeschi involved in one of those as well, trying to work his way through the front, but Afuko already somewhat clean and green. Louis Zader behind him tried to make that move early on, a little aggressive, but was able to sit back in that second spot. Justin Brooks already up to third, but behind them it's a hornet's nest, Rusty.
Yeah, turn one might have been the most important turn of the race, but we're heading into an even more important turn 5, where they got to get all the way down to about 10 miles an hour, turn that car left and somehow keep it off each other and avoid the sand we saw on the exit of the track. But we're going to head off into a blind left-hander up the hill. This is kind of treacherous, tricky. You see Matthew Heel, think about going through the grass there. Tedeschi is right on the back here, but this is where it starts to get pretty technical. You're going to get around this right-hander, set yourself up on the left-hander here for the carousel, and that's where you're going to need to carry a ton of momentum down the backstretch as they head towards the kink. But look at these guys side by side on lap 1. I love this.
Yeah, and you can already tell, you know, who's got the smoothest line here, and it's tough to be on the outside going through those technical corners. I mean, like you said, Rusty, they have to get slowed all the way down, use that braking, not overthrow those cars into the corner, and one of the guys that is good at it, Daniel Buttafuoco, he's won at road courses before. He's going to be tough to beat tonight, but in that second spot, and it's still early on here, obviously still in the first lap of Road America, is Louis Zader, Rusty, and we talked about it, you know, between you and I. If anyone's going to do it this evening, it's going to be Louis Zader. You can see them at the bottom of their screen. Zader is pretty dang good here on these road courses.
Now, Louis Zader is definitely shown to be a road course ringer. He finished second at Watkins Glen, third at Mid-Ohio. So those are his 2 strongest performances of the season. So you can expect him to try to keep a little battle up with Buttafuoco. If Buttafuoco makes a mistake, Louis Zader will be there to claim his first win of the season. And this guy is a rookie, but he's got a lot of experience at these road courses. And I'm curious to see if he keeps it under Buttafuoco under pressure to maybe make him force a mistake, as you saw those guys up on that Fanatec wheel early, just hitting their marks and keeping it clean and consistent and on the racetrack.
And that's half the battle here. Again, keeping it on the racetrack. We see these guys go barreling into the corners, have to get down, set those race cars on the ground, get them slowed down. And that's where someone's going to lose the race as well. We've seen drivers like Buttafuoco get way out in front, and then just a matter of 2-3 corners of overdriving, and all of a sudden they've got someone on their back bumper and have lost that lead. So Zader's going to be in the tracks of Buttafuoco, waiting for him to mess up. But that's one thing that Daniel Buttafuoco is good at, is not messing up, being concise, making sure he hits his marks. But we'll go back to that fuel mileage that we started to talk about, Rusty. Again, we've seen these drivers, they tried to stretch it here in practice to maybe 7 laps. Do you think that we'll see that, or is everyone going to cut this race pretty well in half, come down at the 6 lap mark?
You know, I'm looking at Tyler Dohar right now in 13th place, the driver of the 88. I think that guy might be stretching it to 7 laps, but there's going to be a variety of kind of strategies here. A lot of guys I think are going to stick with the 6 lap strategy. Maybe some guys will come in after 5. It just depends on maybe where they're at on the track. Maybe they want to get on pit road, get away from the guys around them, maybe try to find some speed when they're on an empty racetrack. But I think you're going to see most of these guys stick to a 6 lap fuel run here to start off the race, and then maybe do a 5 and a 4 there. But I think here we go, get a big send from Slade Gravitt down off in the Canada corner. Holy cow, Nick Walker off the grass. This is picking up here in this race.
Wow, yeah, Nick Walker just got completely sent through the corner there. Gravitt did not lift, used him as the brakes, but hey, it worked for him. Diego Alvarado also on the inside of Jordan McGraw there, did the same thing in the corner, took advantage of the fact that Walker was out in the dirt, so Alvarado now up to the 6th spot. Walker shuffled back to the 7th, Jordan McGraw in 8th. What an aggressive move by Slade. That is not something we usually see out of the driver of that Wood Brothers machine. He's usually the kind one, but he said recently, Rusty, hey, I'm going to start racing people like they race me. Could we have seen the wit's end of that young driver?
I love seeing the aggression out of Slade Gravitt. Last week at Auto Club, he had an opportunity to win the race. If he had a little bit more aggression, maybe he could have won it and put himself in contention to win the segment, maybe get to the championship. So maybe we're seeing those gloves come off today at Road America. Slade Gravitt, he knows he's only got 2 more opportunities this week and next week at Las Vegas to punch his ticket to the championship. So I guess you saw the driver of the 21. You got to do what you got to do. As we see too wide off into the corner. They send Nick Walker off into the sand trap. This racing and the intensity is picking up. You see a little bit of contact here on Matthew Heel. Diego Alvarado makes the pass. Oh, tucks in right in front of him. Great driving there. We got a yellow, our first yellow of the day with Nick Walker. Oh, baby.
Wow, Nick Walker just completely was involved in all of those. I mean, he never seemed to be out of the way in the sense of he got pushed each and every direction. Obviously, that caution coming out, but first it was with Gravett, and then McGraw was involved in that as well. These drivers not getting these cars slowed all the way down and using each other as brakes, and that is not going to fare well, is it, Rusty? We're going to see these guys quickly lose their tempers. They're going to lose their patience with each other, and we may even see some retaliation. Take a look here at that replay again. Ooh, in comes Slade. That was the first time we saw it. Slade and Jordan McGraw involved there with Alvarado, and it happened once again with Walker again, now being that cause of the caution. So this could throw off the fuel strategy just a little bit, but we'll re-rack them here and get them sent again. That front row now bunched up. This is going to add even that much more room for chaos, Rusty.
Yeah, look at the front row here. We got Brooks and Buttafuoco, the two heavyweights. They always find their way to the front. But look at Louis Zader back in third. He's got an opportunity to maybe pressure these guys coming up into turn one. This is a really fun corner. It's you get a little bit of the bank in there, and you kind of work your way around the exit here, carry a lot of speed down the hill, down into turn two. You guys see, you see the guys use the runoff there. So if you do miss the corner, you can use a little bit of extra pavement. But you see Buttafuoco kind of clear the field just by a couple car lengths. Brooks is still right there in tow. Louis Zader falls back into P4, but Matthew Selby, kind of the story of the middle of the week here, receiving the penalties. He's all the way up into third place, and we know how he drives. We know what he's willing to do to get the job done. So curious to see what he will do here at Road America as he tries to get by two of the best drivers on the Xbox side.
Yeah, Selby definitely trying to make up those points that he had lost from Auto Club. Wow. Take a look back behind the back bumper of Buttafuoco. We saw in that corner McGraw once again involved with Walker. Whoa, four wide through that corner. Everyone just made that work, but don't worry, they've got another turn coming up right here. Are they going to do it again? McGraw pushes the back bumper. Tedeschi bounces off people. They're using each other as the brakes, Rusty.
Yeah, this is why Road America is so fun. There's so many opportunities to not only pass but make contact, because you get these long runs, you get high speed built up, and then you get to these braking zones, and you have an opportunity to kind of put it on the inside of the guy and maybe force him up in a NASCAR heat. That's what we love to do. Rubbins racing. It's kind of getting a little bit on the excessive side, maybe in that over the top area, but I love seeing these guys not afraid to make contact and work their way through the field, because we saw Nick Walker, he started at P3. He's falling all the way towards the back because guys are just taking advantage of him here. And we're riding on board with Jordan McGraw. We might see a little bit of a send-off in the Canada corner, right on schedule. Oh, baby, makes the pass on Tedeschi. And we're seeing a lot of contact as we make our exit through Canada corner, as we head up the hill. And this left-hand turn right here is a lot of fun. As the car transitions over the hill right there, it gets a little light and a little bit treacherous. And you gotta, you want to get in the gas, but maybe not too hard there, as we see Nick Walker make a clean pass on Jordan McGraw. And that's what you love to see as a race car driver. Even though the guy gets into you, you're not necessarily going to pay him back right away. We're going to try to do it professionally in a clean manner. So Nick Walker working his way back up towards the front. We're riding back on board with Buttafuoco. He's still leading Brooks, Hannah.
Yeah, Buttafuoco with over a second lead on Justin Brooks, and we wondered if this was going to happen. If Buttafuoco was on that front row, how far would he get in front of the rest of the field, and would the battle ultimately... Oh, big wreck! Alvarado involved, Matthew Heel as well. I believe Nick Walker, Sam Morris was at the front of that. Ooh, big wreck. Caution is out. This group of cars cannot seem to get away from each other.
Yeah, I'm going to have to call it like I see it there. I have a feeling Nick Walker was over the contact, over the guys using him up, and he completely body slammed Diego Alvarado. Maybe I'm mistaken, but that's the feeling I get right there. Just tempers flaring in the kind of the midpoint of the race, and Diego unfortunately got on the losing side of things, and that kind of tends to be a trend with him this season. He's had speed, but guys just either take him out or he gets caught up in it, and I think we're going to take a replay at the incident right here.
Open, you called it right there. It looked like he either got loose out of that corner there, Rusty, and went right across the nose of Alvarado, or he simply had enough.
You know, I might give him the benefit of the doubt. It is easy to spin the tires and hook it, but we'll take a look at in the post race. We'll get the onboard footage. Jay will take a look, but I'll just chalk it up to hard racing in the NASCAR Heat Pro League.
Well, the green flag is back out at Road America again. Roughly 7 laps should be remaining here for your Xbox driver. So we were right in that window of now 5 to go. So I'm wondering if a lot of these guys did come down pit road. But Afuko, ooh, sends it into the corner. Selby pushed Zader. Brooks now to the lead. 2-3 wide through the corners here. I can't even tell you who's where. They're back 3 wide through the corner, 3 wide with Buttafuoco, who's now back to the 7th spot and quickly slipping, Rusty.
They were 3 by 3 by 3 at Road America for the lead. Matthew Selby, he doesn't care about that points penalty. He's here to win races and do it by any means possible. He's aggressively taking the lead from Daniel Buttafuoco and Justin Brooks. Holy cow, as we see, Selby may have received payback from Justin Brooks heading off into turn 5. Selby is just completely destroyed. No yellow yet. Caution is not out yet as we're going cut through the grass, body slam and beating bacon. This is something here today at Road America.
Wow, indeed it is. Ruiz there went from the complete bottom groove all the way to the high groove across people's nose. Everyone now managed to file their way out of that, but I don't expect that to last long. You see it there. They're taking advantage of every square inch of not only the dirt, the grass, the sand. Into the sand goes Zader. He'll slip back to the 6th spot. This is absolutely intense. Again, guys, this is one of 2 more shots these guys have in the regular season to lock their way in to that championship race. So whoa, into the corner, Zader just sends it, takes Selby with him, Selby to the wall, big wreck, Ruiz involved as well, Zader goes around and the caution will fly. I think we're just setting ourselves up for some insane racing, and Rusty, we have to imagine that race control right now is in these drivers' ears.
Yeah, they're definitely getting an earful of it right now, but this is just one of those races. I expected a lot of contact, a lot of drama here at Road America, but you can tell they're feeling the pressure. They can feel the intensity. They want to get to the championship, but they also want to earn a lot of money, and the opportunities are running out. Sam Morris started 12th. He worked his way up to the lead by one way or another. Kind of ran Louis Zader off the track right there, but this is the craziest race of the season.
And take a look again at that replay of the wreck. You see Zader in the 42 credit 1 go into the corner hard, sends Selby off into the dirt. Selby rebounds off the wall into Zader. Zader back into Ruiz, and the mess begins. So definitely where that started there with Zader really just pushing it hard into that corner, making contact with Selby. Selby bounced off the wall back into Ruiz, or Zader. I mean, part of the product of racing, but again, green flag is back in the air. We should have a shootout here, roughly 2 to 3 laps left in the Xbox race. These guys, again, 2 to go. These guys are going to be giving it all. Sam Morris, though, at the front of the field, Rusty.
I'm impressed with Sam Morris. He has not led a lot of laps this season. Matter of fact, he hasn't really led that many, but Sam Morris is doing what it takes to get the win and keep the lead. And I'm shocked they survived turn 1 there and they kept it clean. I thought for sure nobody was going to survive turn 1, but we're going to head down the straightaway here as they're going to send it off into turn 5. And if you remember, this is a very, very hard braking zone with an opportunity to send it on the inside and make passes, maybe move somebody up out of the way. So look for a lot of contact here down in turn 5 at the bottom of the hill.
And the braking, the wobble, you see it, the focus on Sam Morris's face at the bottom of your screen, holds on to it. A battle behind him between Heel and Gravett. Brooks involved in that as well, but Morris still with the front hold, but don't look now. Justin Brooks hot on his tail, trying to track down Sam Morris for the win, but right now Morris looks like he's got a pretty good run, ooh! Bobble by Brooks into the grass, into the dirt, makes it back on the racing surface, and contact between Buttafuoco and Gravett.
Yeah, that tends to happen there at that corner as those guys kind of cut that blind left-hander. They either send it through the grass and maybe push somebody up off the runoff, but that is the benefit of that corner. There is runoff for those guys to use in case they do get used up or maybe drive a little bit too aggressively. But we're going to head down the kink here. This is an opportunity to gain a lot of time on the racetrack. If you keep your momentum up right through that kink, you can gain on the guys. We see Jordan McGrath lose a little bit of ground there to the guys in front of him, but I think we're going to see at least a 2x2 send off here into the Canada corner here. I'm just keeping an eye on the competition. Louis Zader keeps it together, but we're going to head up to this left-hander up the hill as we're coming to 1 to go at Road America.
And you can hear the contact, the crunching of body panels as these guys continue to beat and bang off of each other. They'll come down the straight here and get the white flag. So 1 lap will be remaining here in the Xbox One race. Sam Morris, your leader. Justin Brooks, Nick Walker with the rebound, currently in that third spot. But don't look now. You got a hornet's nest of Matthew Heel, Brian Tedeschi, Slade Gravett, Selby looking to the inside of Gravett. Ooh, into the middle of a 3 wide with Buttafuoco on the outside. Oh, Selby bounces off of Buttafuoco, sends him to the grass. There could be retaliation coming this next corner, Rusty.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of points and gained or lost here, money gained and lost here in the next couple corners and at the end of this lap here. But we're right on board here with Justin Brooks with less than a half a lap to go. Sam Morris is looking for his first ever win. I'm curious how he's going to defend the corner entry in turn 5. If he's going to block low, he does block low. Justin Brooks is going to get a nice exit here on the exit of turn 5 as Samuel Morris goes high. Brooks is looking to the inside, beating and banging. They're heading up the hills. Sam Morris isn't going to let him pass, but they actually keep it clean and survive off the left-hander here. Hannah, this is incredible. They're not done racing yet.
I wish you guys could see my face at the moment. Again, Justin Brooks, man, put it in there. Sam Morris with the hip check move, took him all the way out to the dirt, but Sam Morris, high-low contact now. Brooks into the back bumper of Morris. Through the dirt they both go. The corners are winding down. Morris now with a gap. It could come down to the last straightaway, Rusty. Can Justin Brooks close this gap on Sam Morris, or will we see a first-time winner here at Road America?
We did see some desperation in that last course. Brooks might have thought that was his opportunity to move Samuel out of the way and send him off the racetrack, but this is going to be a heavy braking zone right here. Brooks might be able to send it, but there's still a left-hander and a right-hander and a lot of opportunity for contact and for a win. As we're right on board here with Luis Zader coming down to the Canada corner, expecting some contact here. They keep it clean through the Canada corner here. Diego Alvarado goes off a little bit through the grass. That's okay. Keeps the momentum up. Hannah, we're coming down to the final corner at Road America.
Wow, defense mode is on for Sam Morris. High, low, Brooks crosses over Morris. Walker is there as well. Sam Morris tries to slide in there, but Walker is there. Over the hill they go. Justin Brooks down the straight, across the start-finish line, and Justin Brooks will win the Xbox One race, just barely over at hard-charging Sam Morris. Nick Walker as well. Matthew Heel and Brian Tedeschi round out your top 5. Sam Morris right now, Rusty, has to be hanging his head. He was so close. It was a matter of a couple 100 feet between him and that Xbox One, but at the end of the day, a great race for that driver. I mean, he was so close, he could almost taste it.
Yeah, I want to congratulate Sam and Morris on an incredible run, best run of the season. Unfortunately, when you got one of the best drivers behind you, they're gonna find a way to maybe pressure you and get the job done. I would like to see those last couple corners to see how the crossover was set up. So incredible move by Justin Brooks to pick up another win on the season. But I'm left speechless after that race. That was some of the craziest racing I've ever seen at a road course. Period. A lot of aggressiveness, a lot of just dramas we saw unfold, and I think we're gonna see some tempers flaring on social media after the race.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely think that our driver chat right now, our driver chat room is probably going slightly insane at the moment with the amount of fenders that were rubbed. Definitely some drivers that are not going to be happy with each other, but they'll have one more shot next week for the final round of this segment to lock their way in. So don't get too mad tonight, guys. You got to do it again next week to lock in. But man, great job by Justin Brooks there to collect that win. But take a look at the race results here on how everyone unofficially finished. Again, Justin Brooks, your winner over Sam Morris. Nick Walker coming home third. Matthew Heel fourth. Good rally by Brian Tedeschi. Again, qualified there at the tail end. Had to work his way up to the front. Slade Gravett flexed those muscles this evening, Rusty, followed by Daniel Buttafuoco, who I'm sure is disappointed, unfortunately, with that 7th finish.
Yeah, the second page here is going to be a big story on coulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda. We saw Matthew Selby up taking the lead aggressively, got moved towards the back. Jordan McGraw kind of hung out there already. Luis Zader, I expected a lot of him out of today. Unfortunately, he got kind of used up. He got kind of caught up in the drama of the beating and bang. And Tyler Dohar, I thought this was going to be a really good point stay for him. Unfortunately, finishing 13th is devastating for his chances in this third and final segment.
Yeah, and with one more race remaining for the Xbox and PlayStation guys next week, take a look at your Xbox Driver Championship standings. Again, they'll have one more race to improve on these standings. Justin Brooks and Daniel Buttafuoco sit atop of that. But don't forget, guys, these guys are already locked into that championship race, so it comes down to the highest regular season points finish. Sam Morris right now sitting in that 3rd spot. A good run today definitely padded that point standing. Dohar with a good run as well, Rusty, sitting in that 4th spot.
Hey, he's in a better point standing than I expected, but Sam and Morris, that shows you how important race wins are. They get you up in that point standings really high. So Sam Morris is right there on the heels of Justin Brooks and Buttafuoco as we're going to head to the final race at Las Vegas.
And rounding out the tail of those driver standings, again, these guys going to have to make some crazy moves or hope they get in on the wild card race, which will follow our regular season on the high banks of Daytona. What a better place for a wild card race. But Nick Walker with Roush Fenway Gaming, Matthew Selby again, he had a pretty heavy driver's points deduction following Auto Club, so he'll have a lot of points to make up to have to be in contention. Diego Alvarado, Louis Zader, Riley Ogle, Jordan McGraw, and again, Jose Ruiz for Levine Family Gaming rounds out your segment 3 current driver standings. And we'll try and get a word here with Justin Brooks in just a short little bit. But Rusty, if you're Sam Morris, you've got to take a look at today's race and know that you drove an incredible race in the sense that the back and forth that one of the best on the Xbox platform, if you're going to lose to Justin Brooks is almost a good way to lose. You don't want to lose, but Justin Brooks has been standout and hands down one of the most impressive drivers. So to go down and defeat in a crazy race like that, I mean, he's got to be looking, taking away from this in some sort of pride.
Yeah, we got to give Sam Morris a lot of credit. He's had a rough season, but he stepped up to the plate, and I know he's got a lot of confidence in himself after running that race he ran today. Finishing second put him in an important points position, so it didn't quite end the way he wanted, but I think at the end of the day, when he looks at the big picture, this is perfect for Sam Morris.
Yeah, absolutely. And that being said, let's chat with our winner for today's race in the Xbox division. Justin Brooks does it once again, and you got to be tired of seeing our faces here, Justin. I feel like he may have muted himself here. Can you hear us, Justin?
Now I can. Sorry about that. I was talking
okay, perfect. We love technology. I was going to say, you got to be sick and tired of seeing our faces here after every race. I mean, you've just been dominant here in the Xbox platform. But before we get into that, take us through that last 100 to 300 feet of this race this evening. And did you really think that you had what it took there to beat Sam Morris? Because it was incredible from our side.
I mean, I knew I had a faster car, but I was just trying to run them clean and settle the pass. I had a little bit of front end damage there from where me and him barely made contact on that first initial restart there with 2 or 3 laps ago, whatever it was. And I was just, like I said, just trying to set up the perfect pass. I was looking in my mirror, gauging how fast the guys behind me were catching me, and was just trying to find the perfect spot. And I was like, all right, if I put the pressure on him, maybe he'll slip up. He didn't slip up to that last corner, and as soon as he did, I threw it in the second gear and gassed it and got by him and brought home the checker flag today.
Yeah, Justin, congratulations on another win. Absolutely dominant season so far. We have one more race left in the segment. You have an opportunity to win the segment, which would put a lot of the other drivers in an interesting position to rely on overall points. I know you're probably going to go for the win, but what is your strategy coming up at Las Vegas and the wild card at Daytona?
It's just like you said, go for the win. I mean, I'm not here to finish second. I'm not here to finish 10th or whatever. If I got a second place car and I'm running second, I'm not going to try to use the guy up in front of me. And that's unfortunate, that deal going in the bus stop there with Bulldog. I don't know if it was like one of the little bubble deals, what they call it, going on in the game or whatever, but his car just shot off on every hit on the screen. And I know a few other guys had that problem, but at the next 2 tracks, we shouldn't have to worry about those issues, thankfully. It ain't so bad at the other tracks that you really carry a lot of relative speed around. So Vegas is going to be a good race. I think that's going to be our best race of the year. It was one of the best last year. You got multi-groove racing. You got a bunch of fast, hungry guys like Garbage and Dan, who I think was the fastest car tonight. Shout out to Dan, man. You were class of the field. Sucks what happened. And like I said, Daytona's a chess match. I mean, anybody can win there. So that's all I'm trying to do, carry some momentum in this championship race. We've had a few bad races recently. We finished where we shouldn't be finishing, and tonight we changed that around a little bit.
Well, another win to the resume, another $2,000 richer. Justin Brooks, congratulations once again.
Thank y'all.
Definitely class of the field, Justin Brooks. Hey, maybe Rusty, with that $2,000 that he just won, we should send him the link to a ring light. You know, the ring lights that like make your room a little bit brighter? You love to see it. You love to see it.
He's won so many times this year. We got to work on his victory lane celebration, get the bright lights and cameras on him. We love Justin Brooks, but yeah, we got to invest in some fancy lighting for him.
Too funny. Class of the field, Justin Brooks. But take a look here. NASCAR Heat 5 now available. Take a look at that. Also, our new partnership with Fanatec, the official steering wheel of the NASCAR Heat Pro League, and what you missed last time out for the PlayStation drivers at Auto Club.
NASCAR Heat 5. Refuse to lose.
Welcome to Virtual Auto Club Speedway, race 2 of this third segment.
I've had this race circled on my calendar the entire season.
And green flag is in the air here at Auto Club Speedway. Kyle Arnold to the lead in front of Josh Parker. Josh Parker, Castro, though, hot on his tail. It's a battle for second, Rusty.
A huge run down the backstretch. I think that's what we're going to see right here. Josh Parker setting up Jobs with a pass down the backstretch.
This could be the opportunity that Jobs needs. Ooh, contact here. These guys now 3 wide for that 5th spot.
These guys are not going to be happy with Nick Jobs. I'm sure they're on the radio yelling at him right now. We're 3 wide through the front stretch. Look at this. Look at, they made contact and exited too. Kyle Arnold might be in trouble.
Into the wall and around goes the Germain Gaming driver of Kyle Arnold.
This is shaping up to be an unbelievable finish.
Contact here between Gritton and Castro. Gritton goes into the wall. Gritton now spinning through the infield. Josh Parker will come to the line and win. What a few final laps, Rusty.
Look at Josh Parker celebrate. He earned that one. What an unbelievable drive.
Congratulations, Parker. Good run.
win, Parker.
Big thanks to Joe Gibbs Racing, Interstate Batteries. They're the most deserving of this. And we'll see you guys at Road America next week.
And cool to see Josh Parker again get that win in the PlayStation platform. Well-deserved. And what a fun race that was, Rusty. But now it's their turn to go racing here at Road America. And based off the Xbox race that we just saw, our PlayStation guys are always the wild card. I think we're in for quite an interesting race.
Yeah, we saw a lot of the competition carry over from Auto Club into this week's race at Road America. And I think we're going to see the same on the PlayStation 4 side here today. Anybody can win on the PlayStation side any given week, but Kyle Arnold's going to lead this field off to green. He's pretty dominant here. He's circled segment 3 as his segment to win, but he's got a lot of work to do, and he's got to capitalize and win this race today to put in position to win this segment. But I think we're setting ourselves up for another one of those intense, pressure-filled races. This is going to be a fun one.
We'll take a look here again at the race graphic here on how this will go down. 13 laps in length, also 3 times that tire wear, full damage, so doubling down like it was in the Xbox race. And we'll take a look at the grid, the starting lineup here for your PlayStation drivers as well. That front row, Kyle Arnold leading the field of green, Germain Gaming doubling down on the front rows. Joe Gornick has a solid shot this evening. We can talk about that a little bit more later. On the row 2, Maxwell Castro, Mike Bross, Rusty.
We're going to set ourselves up for some good storylines here today with Brandon Hanna looking for first win, as well as Joey Stone. He's fast at road courses. I think he's been working on this car all night. He's going to have a piece for them today. Cody Giles in row 4 and Josh Parker, last week's winner. It's going to be fun watching these guys work their way forward.
And rounding out the rest of the field is row 5 with Josh Harbin having to make some moves. Brandon Gritton is well going to use those elbows as expected to work his way up to the front. Row 6, Corey Rothgibb and TJ McGowan. And rounding out in row 7, working their way up through the field, will be Nick Jobs and Jason Mitchell. So needless to say, we're in for a very exciting race as they come around and up the curve here, getting ready to come to the green flag. Any last thoughts here, Rusty, before we go green?
Hey, we got a lot of road course ringers up front. Joe Gornick is looking for his first win. I think he's going to put pressure on Colorado today. I would like to see Joe Gornick get the job done, but I'm ready for his show.
Yeah, that Brandt machine for Junior Motorsports looking good. Everyone's side by side. You can almost feel the anticipation and the anxiousness of these guys as they come around the corner. They'll go over the hill and get ready to get the green flag here at Road America. So green flag is in the air for the PlayStation race. It's their turn to try and get another opportunity to lock in, and instantly Kyle Arnold with the jump. They go into the corner. Heavy braking all the way down into the grass. You can see behind him a couple different times dirt goes flying in the air. And there we have it, our ticker, our running order. Mike Bross quickly behind him. What happened to Joe Gornick, Rusty?
The bad luck continues with Joe Gornick. Maybe something happened coming up through the gears, but Joey Stone took advantage of it all the way up into third place already. As you're seeing, Maxwell Castro put pressure on him as we're going to head down the hill off into the treacherous turn 5 is where we've seen a lot of drama here today. Let's see if these guys can keep it clean. Keeping an eye on Maxwell Castro. He's giving a lot of respect to Joey Stone on the outside here, but we're going to head up the hill, and you see Joe Gornick once again gets turned, and the bad luck continues for the driver of the number 7, but we're going to stay green here as we're heading up towards the carousel.
Well, fortunately, still in the first lap of Road America, we saw in the previous Xbox race, someone like Tedeschi, Nick Walker, they both rebounded for some good runs. So the race is not over for Joe Gornick. He'll have to work pretty tough, though, to get his way up there. Kyle Arnold, though, again, at the front of the field, he's been good here at road courses. And Jason Mitchell, if we didn't mention it in the pre-race, unfortunately unable to join the PlayStation field this evening last minute, has a family emergency. So we send our thoughts and prayers over to the Mitchell family, and we look forward to having him join us next week during the race. But the bottom of your screen, your front runners, Kyle Arnold and Mike Bross. Kyle clearly focused there, but lots of wheel input there by Mike Bross on that Fanatec wheel, Rusty.
Yeah, these are my favorite camera shots. You can see Kyle Arnold, cool, calm, and collected as always. Mike Bross, you can see how intense he is. He's found himself up into second place. He's got a hot rod. I love seeing Mike Bross driving up and competing for wins lately. The Petty Esports team has been really competitive lately. So he's got a little bit of a friend and a teammate of sorts behind him in Joey Stone. So these guys might be working together a little bit in the early part of the race. Just get clean laps, work fast, work towards the lead, put pressure on Kyle Arnold, because Kyle Arnold has been the best on the PlayStation 4 side. So they're going to try to keep them honest here as we're working our way on lap 2 here. But I'm just thoroughly impressed with Mike Bross, the driver of the 44 here today.
Yeah, Bross looking for a good run this evening. He'll have to track down your leader of Kyle Arnold. And Kyle's another guy that doesn't really seem to have luck on his side too often, but the best place to be right now is out front of this field. So if Kyle can keep it there, he seems to be in a good place to bring home that Germain Gaming car, that Geico, in the front running spot. Down into that corner, hard braking zone again. Bross, everyone makes it through thus far. So far, they've been relatively calm. Gornick, though, if you look at your ticker, slowly starting to make his way back up. But let's talk about your buddy, Joey Stone. He tweeted, I believe not just a day or two ago, that said, I think I need to get faster for Thursday. And I guarantee you, and you can attest to this probably, Rusty, that's all he's been doing the last couple days is making sure that that car is dialed in.
Yeah, Joey Stone's one of those guys that will completely dedicate himself every single week to every single race. He's up there late at night in these group chats, DMing these guys, asking maybe for a little bit of feedback on a setup, how we can find an extra tenth, maybe extra couple tenths here and there. And I talked to him all day today. Joey, what do you got for me, baby? And he said, Rusty, I found a little something extra. We saw him pick up some spots early on. He is riding 4th right now, which is very strong. He's right there behind one of the road course ringers, Maxwell Castro. So I'm impressed with Joey Stone, the driver right now. This is kind of what shows you that the time and dedication does pay off here in the NASCAR Heat Pro League. When you commit yourself to getting these setups right, finding that speed, that not only are the cars a lot of fun to drive, but you can find yourself up front in contention for wins, points, a lot of money, maybe in championship contention. And that's what Joey Stone is doing here right now. He wants to get a good points day and hopefully can clinch himself into the championship for his team.
And Castro now up inside that top 3, reeling in Mike Bross. He's been a good little road course racer as well, locked himself in segment 1 and was all over the back bumper of Mike Bross just moments ago. He'll try and dial him in. That's a good little battle heating up for that second spot. Again, Kyle Arnold loves to see it in his rear view mirror. He's watching these two battle, and that's a perfect opportunity for him to continue to put space between them. Ooh! Looks like Castro may have an issue, that or he just overshot the corner, because there goes Joey Stone and Josh Parker around Castro.
I was curious what Castro was going to do here heading off into the left-hander in turn 5, but he's going to keep it clean, a little bit off the track here, but Parker's moving up the field, and he's working his way forward. He's kind of putting pressure on Joey Stone here, but Joey Stone up into third. I still just can't get over Mike Bross. This guy, he just gets faster and finds more and more speed. I can't wait to talk to him after the race, no matter where he finishes. He's one of those personalities with a huge personality, and he's not afraid to tell you like it is, and he'll give you constructive criticism, and he'll also roast you a little bit. I share the racetrack with him every week. I share the racetrack with Mike Bross, and love racing with the guys. So just really impressed by the 44 here today. As we're taking a look at the
Take a look here again at the start when we dropped the green flag from a little bit farther back off of the hood of Nick Job. So coming to the green here, he's got the whole field in front of him, and we talk about it. This is where they carry so much speed, so much momentum, and then they have to stop. They almost have to come to a complete stop to get around this sweeping corner, carrying that momentum in. You see them all fan out in plenty of different directions. Rothgeb, I believe in that too, goes out high. So they have to be on their toes at all times here, Rusty. And speaking of being on their toes, Joey Stone put that distance between himself and Parker. So Castro and Parker now heating up that battle for 4th and 5th side by side as they come down the straightaway.
And Castro, he'll kind of work his way forward, fall back, work his way forward. The guy is just an impressive road course driver. If you want to learn a thing or two about road course driving, that's definitely a guy to watch. He has videos up on YouTube with setups, and you can kind of pick his brain a little bit, see his setups, and find some speed on the racetrack. I know I did that this week because out of the box, I was a little bit slow, but then I found Maxwell Castro's secret setup, and I gained some seconds on the racetrack. So if you guys have a copy of NASCAR Heat 5, jump on YouTube, get Castro's setup, and you're going to find a lot of speed and have a lot of fun driving these Xfinity cars at Road America. And you can see him, he's putting the pressure right now back on Joey Stone. Like, he's just flipping the switch once again. So Maxwell Castro, he did win segment 1, but he's still here to race and get checkered flags and get a whole lot of money. Loving the clean racing right there into turn 5 as they head up the hill here. Curious what Josh Parker's going to do here now that he's back up on his bumper, but just clean, hard racing, and I think we're working ourselves up towards our first pit stop of the day here on the PlayStation 4 side. Maybe 2-3 laps away, but we're going to start to see the strategy unfold here very soon.
And you'd mentioned there, Rusty, too, the respectful and hard racing between these guys. And when Castro had his nose in there, Joey Stone gave him that inside lane, said, hey, you may have to use a little dirt, but I'll give you that inside lane to make the pass. So it's good, clean racing these guys are having right now, and that's what we love to see, because while we love some rub into some racing and some fender bumping, we definitely like to see these guys race good, hard, and respectful as well. And Stone and Castro are usually ones that we see, as well as Bross, that race hard like that. But take a look here on Joey Stone and Maxwell Castro as we ride along with them. Has Joey blinked? I'm not sure that he's blinked, Rusty.
Yeah, I wish I could jump on his radio and tell him, hey, give us that $1 million smile, Joey. We want to see the smile, but he's definitely focused and locked in right now. You can see how hard he's racing. Maxwell Castro is up on that Fanatec wheel. He's focused to work his way forward, but I'm just impressed, like I said, with Joey Stone, keeping the perspective and the patience and keeping his car on the racetrack as we see Maxwell Castro head off into pit road for the first time today.
And down pit road, this will start that pit cycle. Kyle Arnold goes down, Josh Parker as well. So Ford Gornick goes down pit road as well. So this is our first group in the pit cycle with 10 laps to go. We didn't really see this in the Xbox race with how the cautions fell, but these guys have got to be careful coming down pit road, Rusty, because they need to make sure that, again, they're not speeding down pit road, because they carry so much momentum as they enter pit road. And also, with green flag conditions, we saw some incidents happen during practice and practice races where they were making contact coming off of pit road. So overall, they need to make sure they're tiptoeing down pit road here.
Yeah, this pit road entrance and exit is very unique here at Road America. The entrance, you're coming up that hill flying like 120 miles an hour, and it's a blind entry into it. So you got to back your car down right at that blind spot to make sure you don't get caught speeding, because if you get caught speeding, if you're going over 40 miles an hour, that's a huge penalty that's going to end your day. So the entrance is tough, but there is opportunity to gain some speed there. And on the exit, like we saw in practice, when you merge back onto the racetrack, if you're not careful, the closing gap in the closing time, the ratio of the guy coming up behind you, he could appear out of nowhere right on your bumper, and there could be a big incident there and cause maybe a caution and ruin somebody's day. So you got to pay attention coming into pit road and definitely on the exit if you want to stay in contention in this race.
Well, Joey Stone in that Alsco Camaro currently leads with Mike Bross behind him, Josh Harbin. We expect to probably see them come down pit road, and hey, maybe while they're down there, they can swing in and grab me some cheese curds. It's definitely my favorite part of going to Road America. Don't get me wrong, I love the racetrack, but man, nothing like cheese curds out in Wisconsin. They're great if you've got a chance to go to Road America. So Stone, though, has proved right here, as Mike Bross tries to track him down, that he's got a car to contend for the win. He just needs that track position, that opportunity. So we'll see that field start to cycle through, and Gornick as well, being part of that first group that pitted, that could be the opportunity that he needs, Rusty, to get himself back with that front-running group and really contend and be up front for the win.
Yeah, it was fun watching those guys send it off into pit road right there, but everybody's on a little bit of different schedules. You can see right here, it's kind of guys that came in on lap 5, lap 6, and maybe we're going to see some people stretch it to lap 7 here, as you mentioned. But Joey Stone, I'm curious if he got caught speeding there on entrance. He was flying up that hill. He did take the lead, so it was cool to see him, like you said, put the laps together and bring the car out front, passing Mike Bross. But we're right on board here with Kyle Arnold, the guy who was leading the race. We're going to see how this lead cycles through with the rest of the field, how it flows with the rest. We see Josh Parker about 7-8 seconds behind. That's about where he was when he came into pit road. So Kyle Arnold appears to have hit all the marks and perfected the pit road entrance and exit. So here we go. I think we're going to see the cars blend together here as we head off into turn 1. And we talked about some drama that might unfold right here. Let's take a look as Kyle Arnold's driving by these guys, pulling off. We see Joey Stone. That's the gap from first to second right there.
And Joey Stone not far. He can see Kyle Arnold, the leader, within his grasp. Mike Bross rolls off with Josh Parker, Josh Harbin, Cody Giles, Castro, Gornick, McGowan, your top 10. Rothgeb in that as well. Through the grass goes Gornick there. Again, we ride on top of Castro's gear wrench machine, and through the corner they go. Everyone taking full advantage of being able to go into that grass. A little lawn maintenance here at Road America. These PlayStation 4 drivers have definitely been doing. Joey Stone, though, again, in that second spot, proved he's got a good machine. He's just going to have to be able to reel in Kyle Arnold, and Kyle Arnold's going to have to make some mistakes. Ooh, big push through the corner there by Gornick, off the course somewhat. McGowan goes with him. And that's one of the things here also, Rusty, when you get following one of these guys and you are gauging your braking zone off of the guy in front of you, that is the perfect scenario for a little bit of chaos when someone doesn't slow down in front of you as fast as they should and you gauge your braking off of them.
Yeah, you get a little seduced by the guy in front of you, whether they're braking, wherever they're braking, you might send it a little bit harder. Just like that's kind of a natural tendency. I feel like you want to try to gain that extra inch, and sometimes when you send it that extra inch, you're going to go a mile into the grass, into the sand trap. But that's what makes road course racing so much fun, is you can see that guy right up from your windshield, and you can see the spots where you can maybe gain some time, find some time, and it gives you that extra motivation to chase him down, as we see right on board here with Joe Gornick. Had the unlucky start, got some contact, but he's working his way forward, reeling in Maxwell Castro, a guy who is one of the road course ringers, as we mentioned, who started up in the top 3 with Joe Gornick. So we're right on board here. This you're going to learn a little thing or two about getting around Road America. As you see how perfectly he gets up the hill, runs it wide, and he's going to take this right-hander, get a little bit of momentum. He's going to get in the gas perfectly at the exit of the final corner. Get a huge rock, Castro. Ooh. Oh, huge rock. Something must have happened with Castro.
Big wreck there involving Joe Gornick, Maxwell Castro. Off the corner, it almost looks like Castro killed the engine on his car. So caution is out. Big damage for both Gornick and Castro. You have to wonder what happened there, Rusty, because it looks like he just let off the gas or his engine died coming off of the corner, and Gornick really had nowhere to go. He was planning on overtaking and then a quick left-hand turn by Castro.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the replay here and maybe give us a little bit of insight into this incident. So we're seeing Maxwell Castro get the run out of the exit of the corner there, but it might have missed a shift right there. I think Maxwell Castro had an issue shifting up into the up through the gears on the exit of the corner, and that's what maybe downshift there and slowed him down into the front bumper of Joe Gornick. Joe Gornick had nowhere to go.
And we talked about the tough luck of Joe Gornick at the top of the race, and it continues there. Again, Castro saying he had those issues with his shifter, and Joe Gornick just had nowhere to go, so was collected in that. So we will refire green flag in the air once again for the PlayStation guys. This has now allowed the field to come back together, and this is what we love to see, Rusty. We've got this whole field bunched back together, your front row being Harbin and Gritton, Joey Stone right there as well. They'll go through the tight corners here. Stone's going to try and make a move. Kyle Arnold is going to push him.
Yeah, this is the battle for the win right here. I know we have 5 to go, but this is very important for Joey Stone to get out front and check out and get away from Kyle Arnold. As you see Kyle Arnold kind of held up by a couple guys that haven't been up front all day. So Joey Stone, he's got to hit his marks and kind of slow down his pace to make sure he stays on the racetrack, because this is a race-winning moment right here for the driver of the 8. If he can keep it clean and keep it straight, as we see Josh Parker send it off into turn 5. He must have went off the racetrack. Kyle Arnold, just like that, is back out front of this race. He goes from 5th to 1st. And are you kidding me? The race completely changed in that left-hander in turn 5.
Man, Josh Parker, like you said, just sent it in there and used someone else as the brakes, and that allowed him, well, he slipped back to the 11th position, but Kyle Arnold was in the right place at the right time, took advantage of that, brought Josh Harbin with him, and they said, hey, we are checking out. So you've got a whole new top 5 pretty much with Kyle Arnold, Josh Harbin, Joey Stone, Mike Bross, and Cody Giles, your top 5 with 5 laps to go at Road America. And you take a look here off the back of Kyle Arnold's Geico machine, Harbin tracking in his trail. Joey Stone lost a ton of ground, and that could have been the move of the race, like you said, Rusty. This just set the tone for the 5 final laps. Kyle Arnold now has the pace, the momentum, the front of the field to just continue to check his way out. Do you think that Harbin and or Stone has anything for Kyle Arnold?
We've seen throughout the history of the season, Kyle Arnold rarely makes mistakes. At Mid-Ohio, he led the whole thing. At Watkins Glen, it took somebody to send it on him to kind of move him up out of the way. So maybe that's what it's going to take to get by Kyle Arnold, is some dirty driving. But Josh Harbin, impressive run up in 2nd place. Joey Stone is working the outside of him here as he's going to maybe fight for position for 2nd place. But the last thing those guys wanted was to let Kyle Arnold get out front. You saw him sneak through there in turn 5, and now they got to really work and put pressure on as a caution comes out with 4 to go. And this really changes everything, as we've seen on the Xbox side. Once you give these guys an opportunity to send it off into turn 1, turn 5, or coming from anywhere in the pack, this race could be flipped upside down. The guys who are leading now might not see the checker flag. So this, holy cow, buckle up, you guys. This is going to be an unbelievable finish.
We'll have to see what caused that caution, but I think you hit the nail on the head there, Rusty. This is going to make or break the race. You've just got Kyle Arnold, who now you can almost see the stress and the look on his face there at the bottom of your screen. He knows that this final restart, hopefully this final restart, is going to be intense. Josh Harbin is excited. This is his opportunity, and hey, Joey Stone's going to be right there with them as well, but it only takes a matter of 1 corner to mess everything up. So looking here at how they're going to restart, you've got Joey Stone now to the inside of Kyle Arnold as they get ready to come to the green flag, and green flag in the air at Road America. It's going to be a shootout for these guys as Joey Stone with the preferred line into the 1st corner, Rusty.
We're going to right on board here with Kyle Arnold's roof camera. Josh Harbin just barely misses the bumper. Kyle Arnold goes wide, but Joey Stone is going to lead them off of turn 1 down to turn 2 as the leader with 2 laps to go at Road America.
There's no trying to find your way back into line here. These guys are pushing their way back onto the racing surface and in between each other. Stone has the lead. Arnold under fire, though, from Mike Bross. Brandon Gritton now in the top 4 trying to track down Mike Bross. This could be exactly what Joey Stone was hoping for. 2 laps to go. We just saw one go around and hit the wall. That would be Maxwell Castro. See if he's able to re-fire and join the field, or if we will see a caution. But Joey Stone is hoping for no caution. Contact between the 13 of Arnold and Mike Bross. Those two battling hard for position, but Kyle Arnold managed to get away. 3 wide, Rusty.
A 3-wide beat and banging for 6. Every position matters to these guys. They're trying to work their way forward. Gornick sees an opportunity to come back from the back to the front, but Gornick goes off the track into the barrier. The bad luck continues for the driver of the 7. I don't know what happened right there. It was tough to tell. Not a conclusive shot right there. We're right on board here with Cody Giles back in 10th place. But holy cow, Hannah, with 2 laps to go, the last thing Joey Stone wants to see is a yellow, just like Kyle Arnold last time. These leaders don't want a yellow. It puts them in a really tough position, but Joey Stone is in a position and opportunity of a lifetime to win his first career NASCAR Heat Pro League race. We're right on board here. We're seeing Joey Stone get a little hit as the yellow comes out. Holy cow. This, like I said, the last thing Joey wanted to see, but Kyle Arnold, he's getting another shot, another opportunity to win another race here today. Holy cow, Hannah.
And their emotions have swapped. Joey Stone now just pure distress on his face. Kyle Arnold almost looks relieved, and that was not the case when the last caution flag flew. Man, Joey Stone is feeling the pressure. You can see it right there. He is not happy with the yellow flag. Kyle Arnold's laughing. He's getting a kick out of this here. He's hoping that this is the restart that he needs. You can just feel the emotion and the pressure that these guys are under, because when we refire, we should be under 1 lap to go. So we should be on the white flag lap. It's all going to come down to this final lap here, Rusty. I mean, Joey Stone's going to have to execute perfectly because Kyle Arnold has that preferred line when they go into the first turn with the right-hander. So green flag in the air. Potentially the final time here at Road America for these guys. And into the first corner they go, Rusty.
Yeah, Kyle Arnold has the preferred line off here in the turn 1, but Joey Stone got up the gears. Oh, a little bit of contact here for first place as Brandon Gritton moves Kyle Arnold up and out of the way into Joey Stone. This is 3 wide off into turn 2. Where did Brandon Gritton come from? As we see Kyle Arnold completely sends it, delivers some payback right there. Holy cow, this is huge championship implications. Kyle Arnold was going to have a huge point day to put him in position to get to the championship, but he threw it all away right there. Holy cow, as we somehow see Josh Parker leading this race with McGowan right behind him. This race is not over, but a yellow comes out, Hannah. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. I knew we were going to see some drama because the preferred line swap with Joey Stone, and when you give Brandon Gritton the opportunity on the inside to send it on the bottom, he's going to send it 100 out of 100 times. We saw it at Atlanta. We saw it at Auto Club. He does it again here today at Road America. This is Brandon Gritton. He's your defending champion. If he senses feels a checker flag coming, he's going for it. But you can see it ruffled a lot of feathers right there, and these guys are not going to be happy with Brandon Gritton.
Oh, you know, the driver chat right now is going insane. That was frustration from Kyle Arnold, and if there was a Brandon Gritton move, that was one. Like you said, he saw a half a car length and he took 2, but sometimes that's what it takes here in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. So we will try it again with the PlayStation drivers. Re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to send them here at Road America. Your front row, though, now Josh Parker and McGowan. Bross is up there as well as Castro. Quickly, the green flag flies. You already saw a couple cars duck out of line. There's going to be aggression, frustration into this first turn, Rusty.
Yeah, I'm impressed with TJ McGowan. He's had a little bit of a struggle this season, but he's one of the most popular drivers in the garage. All the drivers love him and how clean he races, how respectfully he races. You can expect the 47 to kind of race these guys clean here. But where did Maxwell Castro come from? He's all the way back up into P2, and he's going to fight Josh Parker for the win here. But Josh Parker, last week's winner, he's going to feel the pressure from one of these road course ringers here coming up as they head down into the treacherous and the contact, like, guaranteed zone of turn 5 as we're right on board here with Kyle Arnold. He's not going to lift on Nick Jobs. They have some history. You see it. You see him send Jobs as everybody gets contact collected. Jobs is body slamming, Hannah up into the sand. Kyle Arnold's keeping his foot in the gas. He's working his way up. He's all the way up into P4 after starting in dead last. Holy cow, Kyle Arnold's got to keep this thing on the track to capitalize here after his day got kind of flipped upside down.
You know, if I saw Kyle Arnold in my rearview mirror right now, I would definitely have my tail between my legs, because you know that Kyle Arnold is frustrated, he's mad, and he's out to get to the front, and you're just in his way if you're in front of him at the moment. And he proved it right there going into the corner. He made that aggressive move. He moved people, and it paid off for him up to the 4th spot. But the time is ticking down. He has 3 seconds between himself and the leader of Josh Parker. But what could be in his favor is Castro is hot on the tails of your leader, Josh Parker, and this battle could slow the front runners down. Kyle Arnold still has a shot here with your top 3 all within a half second of each other. 2 laps to go at Road America. Parker using the full extent of the course and now under fire from Castro, Rusty.
Yeah, Castro has a history here at these road courses. He always finds himself up front battling for the win with 1 to go. At Watkins Glen, he moved Kyle up out of the way and took the win. At Mid-Ohio, he kind of set himself up for a little bit of bump and run, but he kind of played out the long game there with Kyle Arnold and brought it home P2. But Castro, this race is not over. If he gets into Parker, Mike Bross is going to be right there to pounce and capitalize, but I expect some beating and banging here, maybe some Rubbins racing here from Castro. But there is history there, and I'm just impressed how he always finds his way up front at the end of these things.
Brandon Hanna, a front seat to the Josh Harb. Ooh, around goes Castro. Castro looks like he maybe just lost control there, maybe another shifter issue. He went around, loses the position to Mike Prost. Kyle Arnold may have taken advantage of that situation as well, but Castro clearly issues here on the final lap of Road America. Josh Parker over 2 seconds from himself and Mike Bross. This win may have just fallen into his hands.
Unbelievable race that played out for Josh Parker today, but you got to give the guy credit. He made the laps perfect and count when they mattered, and he's finding himself up in position for a back-to-back victory, but it's not over yet. We were right on board here with Joey Stone. He still needs some points to collect here to help his championship standings, but holy cow, Hanno, this race has had about everything. I don't even think it's over yet. Even though Josh Parker's up by 2 seconds, he's still got a couple corners to go and survive this thing.
With how wild this race is, you have to wonder if there's virtual rain going on the racetrack, because that's usually how these races get wild. But hey, not here in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. They are wild like this every week, and they're going to continue to get even more insane as the races wind down and we get ready to race for a championship. But Josh Parker, that front runner, he's got almost 2 seconds on the second place runner of Mike Bross. The corners are winding down. He may go back-to-back here in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. He'll go through the final stretch. Mike Bross trying to reel in, but time has run short for that Petty Esports driver. Castro again rebounding from that mishap in the 3rd spot. Over the hill he goes. You can see the celebration already starting. Josh Parker, once again, a winner here in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, Rusty.
Unbelievable drive by Josh Parker. I wonder if he's going to do his custom patented celebration here. Last week, he took the wheel off and celebrated. We see him fired up again here this week. Unbelievable, Josh Parker. You're a championship contender right now. You're setting ourselves up to get into that championship. Oh, my goodness. All season, we were kind of wondering when he was going to step up to the plate, and he has stepped up in a massive way. Wins Auto Club. Now he wins Road America. 2 kind of wild card races as we find out. Holy cow, Josh Parker, congratulations. Mike Bross P2, Castro P3 somehow, but Hanna, what a race! What a race!
And we're going to take a look here again at a replay of just that celebration and the win of Parker. I mean, you'd mentioned it, Rusty, back-to-back at Auto Club, now here at Road America, takes the checker, the excitement of that driver. Josh Parker, not but 3-4 races ago, didn't seem to be in championship contention, but here he is. We've got 1 more race left, Rusty. And Josh Parker has a very solid shot at racing for a championship, and his confidence has to be at an all-time high. And what a great time to have all-time confidence as we get ready to go race for a championship.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see these point standings based on how the finish played out, but he's going to have a really big gap on the guys in P2 and P3. And when you go to Las Vegas, where anybody can kind of win that race, I think he's going to feel good about that and carry that confidence after going back-to-back. And I got a feeling he's going to have confidence to show he can go out, win Las Vegas, and show he is the championship favorite after not being the favorite all season. Josh Parker has arrived. Holy cow, what a drive.
And take a look once again at the race results for your PlayStation race tonight. The winner, Josh Parker, and we'll talk to him here just shortly. Nick Jobs coming home in that 2nd spot. Joey Stone. Mike Bross. I was going to say Mike Bross in the 2nd spot. Great run for that Petty Esports driver. You can't turn your head at a great run by him. Maxwell Castro with a rebound to 3rd place. Kyle Arnold, man, that last lap went from about 12th to 4th, and he made it happen. Joey Stone, again, probably disappointed with that 5th place run, but nonetheless contended. Corey Rothgib and Cody Giles round out your 7 finishers, Rusty.
Yeah, you got to feel for Joey Stone there, but we're taking a look at page 2. Joe Gornick, road course ringer, brings it home P8. Bad luck continues. Nick Jobs up into 10th. Josh Harbin, you saw him up front late with one of the late restarts. He brings it home 11. But you see TJ McGowan also was up there late in one of the final restarts, find himself back in last place in 13th place. So incredible change of events in the last final restarts here today.
And now the thing that we're very excited to look at, those championship standings, because we know that the race today at Road America shook those up immensely. Again, a win by Josh Parker. Kyle Arnold with that 4th place finish, while may not seem like too much, definitely has championship implications as far as those point standings. But there they are. Josh Parker atop them all, 99 points over Brandon Gritton. Again, Brandon Gritton is already locked in, as is Maxwell Castro in that 7th spot. So Kyle Arnold really needed the win today to be atop those standings. Mike Bross, again, a good run for him because Brandon Gritton, again, is locked in to the championship already. The top 6 here, Rusty, man, they're going to have to really battle it out to try and even catch Josh Parker.
Yeah, Josh Parker pretty much has this thing clinched, but they're going to have to win and help Josh Parker finishes dead last to be mathematically eligible. But Josh Parker, look at that. That's like the biggest point lead of the season in the most important part of the season. So huge congratulations to Josh Parker. He clinches his way in with Brandon Gritton and Maxwell Castro.
And
I apologize.
Not yet
clinched. Sorry.
I was going to say, we got one more race. Don't get too excited here now, Rusty. We got to go racing at Las Vegas next week. But you take a look a little bit farther back, those driver standings, Nick Jobs, Josh Harbin, Brandon Hanna rounding out your top 10. And Joe Gornick, again, was one of those drivers we thought had a chance to win, to get some of those additional points as this final segment starts to round out with one more race remaining, sits in the 13th spot. So don't count him out yet. I definitely think he has a good run in him left yet. So one more race, Rusty. But before we do that, we need to talk to our winner here in the PlayStation race of Josh Parker. Back-to-back wins. It's impressive nonetheless to win not only here in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, but to win twice. And we'll get Josh Parker here for that Victory Lane interview virtual. Josh, feels like we just talked to you, and that we did. Back-to-back wins at Auto Club, now here at Road America. The excitement, you showed it at the end of the race. What are you feeling right now, and how high is your confidence?
I think my confidence has always been high. Like I said, I come in here with the most experience. But learning, coming from an iRacing series to this NASCAR Heat Series, it's like learning a whole new sim racing all over again. So the confidence has already been there. I just had bad luck to start the year. So that's why I showed a lot of emotion last week, because I felt like I was been through a tough year, and I finally broke through for the win. And today I just went in to get a good points battle. And like I said, the car, I got lucky. So the cards fell right. And you know how racing is in real life. It's just like in the virtual world. And just put yourself in position and anything can happen.
Yeah, Josh, congratulations on the win. I love seeing the passion and the celebration after you win these races. I know how hard these things are for you guys, so the time commitment and everything. So talk to me about, just as the season's gone on, you said you had a little bit of bad luck, but where have you been finding this extra speed, this extra little thing that's needed to get these victories? And if you saw the point standings, you're pretty much locked into that championship. Talk to me about just what have you found to get yourself in this position?
Yeah, I didn't even look at the points. I didn't look at the points. I don't watch the broadcast. I try to stay away from it. Because I know for myself it'll get to me, so I don't pay attention. I knew what the points were coming into this. I haven't looked at it now, but it feels good. Like I said, I've had the speed. I myself as a sim racer wasn't putting myself in position with the good speed to win these races, and I think this last segment I really buckled down and put myself in that position, and now it shows. So like I said, I got lucky. If I wasn't in that position, it would never happen.
And it was a wild race nonetheless. Again, you'd mentioned it. A lot of luck, but also some strategy there. Going through those last couple laps when, you saw Castro behind you have issues, was there a sense of relief knowing that, hey, I'm out front here? Or are you constantly waiting for that caution flag to fly just based on how that race went?
Honestly, the first thing I thought about was Elijah, because in my mirror, I looked at what I was driving last year for Chip Ganassi. So I have a good relationship with Max. I have a great relationship with Elijah. I knew Max was going to work with me. He wasn't going to do anything dirty. I think he had a shifter problem, which gave me the extra gap. And and that's what happened to Max. But I was really comfortable with Max behind. I was going to do my best behind me. It was going to be fun, but I wasn't going to give up the lead easily. But and I say I appreciate Max. I appreciate Chip Ganassi Gaming, and he was going to run me clean either way. So.
Well, Josh, again, congratulations. We're looking forward to next week as an attempt to make it 3 in a row here in the Pro League.
Thanks, guys.
Josh Parker, your winner again here in the PlayStation event from Road America. And Rusty, you heard it there. It's half luck, half strategy, but I think it's more than that. Again, Josh has carried this confidence and he's found this speed. It's all wound up to this, and he's got a chance really at the championship.
Yeah, we talk about it every week on the PlayStation 4 side. Pretty much any single one of these drivers can win. The competition is that close, and all it takes is maybe a little yellow flag to get in position to get the win, and Josh Parker has taken full advantage of it, and the other guys just kind of had some bad luck here today in the last couple of weeks, and it's just kind of given the big points lead, but just thoroughly impressed with Josh Parker here today.
And I love the little nudge at his old team from Ganassi Gaming, like you mentioned last year. PR rep Elijah Burke doing a lot of their Ganassi Gaming stuff. You love to see it. But team standings here in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, again, don't have any actual correlation in how we race for a championship, just more or less some bragging rights. And atop of those, Germain Gaming, Kyle Arnold, Daniel Buttafuoco obviously have had outstanding seasons here in the 2020 season, and a pretty good cushion between them and JTG Daughtery Throttlers. Justin Brooks, really padding that points for JTG. Stuart Haas Esports, though, again, Brandon Gritton with some success. Matthew Selby found success as well with that win at Eldora, sit in that 3rd spot. But it's a pretty close points battle between your 2nd to about your 5th place runners, Rusty.
Yeah, I got to smile at the 3rd and 4th place teams on these charts here, because Chip Ganassi Gaming and Stuart Haas Esports, they're going at each other 24/7 on social media, and it's a 1-point lead between these two organizations. So, like you said, even though it's not a driver championship, these teams do care, and they want the bragging rights, and they're going to talk trash and carry it over the competitors the rest of the season and each week as they kind of find themselves competing and battling it out on the racetrack.
Absolutely. And you'd mentioned it, the rivalries that we see between the teams as a whole. And I love that they flow over to Twitter. Again, eNASCAR Heat Pro League Twitter is some of my favorite Twitter, as Jake Morris from Stuart Haas fires it up. And Team Penske is really involved in going back and forth. Levine Family Gaming. We love to see it. And Rusty, you and I are often involved in those conversations as well, which there's been some bribery from the Stuart Haas Esports side. He was offering you some Smithfield and some Busch beer, I saw. As a little bribery. You'll have to let me know if that ever shows up.
Yeah, well, when their drivers are a little bit aggressive, I'm going to be a little bit critical. And they didn't want me talking about their drivers here today. But we saw how aggressive those guys are. Defending champion and Matthew Selby, a race winner. They did what it takes to try to win today, but unfortunately, they got kind of some payback delivered to them. But unbelievable racing we saw overall here today. I can't wait to hop on NASCAR 5 after this is off the air and race with everybody in the public lobby. I'm headed to Road America. I'm fired up. I can't wait. I love the NASCAR Heat Pro League.
Well, you guys know where to find Rusty after this broadcast, but you know where to find us next week, too, for our next event. We're back on Wednesday evenings, and we'll go racing at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the final round of the regular season, the last race in segment 3. You can catch us at, again, 8 p.m. Eastern Wednesday. We're back on Wednesdays, July 22nd, on Facebook and Twitch, and we look forward to seeing you guys. There will be plenty of excitement and anxious racing as these guys race for one last chance to lock themselves in the championship before the wild card race. So we will see you guys next week for Hannah Newhouse and Rusty. We're looking forward to catching you guys next week here on the eNASCAR Heat Pro League.
NASCAR Heat 5. Refuse to lose.